This morning at 10 o'clock Toronto time, James Forcillo, who unloaded his gun a couple of years ago, 3 years ago actually, on a young man who was in a bus, the young man thought he was having fun and he thought he was playing with the police, but it was a rude awakening because he pissed off the wrong cop. There was no danger, there was no imminent danger, even according to the judge who read him his sentencing today. He got 6 years. And, the first, before we get into the whole thing, I think the judicial system and the police should be commended because, one of the biggest things always is that when a cop perpetrates a crime like this, he's protected. They went through the system, they did it properly, and he was charged, and now he's going to jail. He's going to prison. Unfortunately, it's not going to bring back the young man who lost his life
Sammy Yatim,
at the hands of a crazy moment that shouldn't have taken place. I mean, the bus was surrounded. He had basically a penknife. He was no danger. He was fooling around. He was fooling around. And I don't think he imagined for even one split second that the cop was going to load a gun on him. Anyways, so what's your thoughts on what happened today, Billy, getting the police officer getting 6 years?
Well, I don't know. I think your point's well made, Frank. I think they handled it very well from the standpoint of giving the public some confidence in the judicial system. And yet, I was told that it was in the line of duty that he committed the crime, and that will be what they'll take the appeal to, and I'm sure it will be appealed, if not by Forcillo or Porcillo. How is that pronounced, spelled, or otherwise?
Forcillo.
Yeah. He is, will certainly appeal the decision and appeal the sentence. So,
yeah, but he's going to be in jail while they're appealing it, and I don't think that there's a judge that will grant an appeal. I don't think there's a judge.
Well, I don't know that. I don't know
There's
that
7,
well.
8, 9 different camera witness accounts. You can't hide the evidence like that.
Well, no, the only chance, Frank, for an appeal of any kind is his responsibility as a policeman to protect society. And here's a guy that's got
that was already there, but it's also the appeal with the evidence, the compelling evidence that shows that he unloaded his gun. He unloaded the first half, and then he unloaded the second half while the guy was dead on the ground.
It was an empty streetcar. 9 shots. I mean, that was like wild. I'm shaking my head. I'm looking at the video now. It's incredible, the lack of decision. I mean, who was in danger?
Yeah, but if you hear the audio, you can understand what type of individual this police officer was. The police officer saying, "Put the knife down and put your fucking hands up." Now, the kid told him to go fuck himself. And that set him right off because he believed that nobody should talk to him like that.
And then he called him a pussy.
He called him a pussy, and then he opened fire and just fucking wasted the kid. Now, I've said this before, I'll say it again. What should have happened, Forcillo should not have been in command of the situation. He did not have the intelligence or the peace of mind, the mindset to handle a situation. They should have had somebody say, "Okay, look, buddy, we had our fun. Let's go get a coffee and talk this out."
Oh.
That's how you disarm a kid.
Frank, I think you're dreaming in Technicolor there. This guy was wired, as do I think the cop was. He's on steroid rage for sure. And the kid was wired.
The kid was wired. He was high on pot. He was a kid. He's a kid. Come on. You know, Billy, you're a very bright guy. You're very perceptive. You can catch more fucking bees with honey than vinegar. He just thinks he can, because I really believe that the kid thought he was fucking around.
Well,
Didn't
I don't
think-
know that.
The
Frank.
kid didn't
I can't.
think
I just
that
know this.
Toronto, Canada, he was going to be shot dead for being in a bus showing his dick.
Well, I forgot about that. Yeah. Oh, he's a dandy. Yeah,
Now-
he's a real.
But he's a kid, you know. I mean, you don't kill a kid.
Well, he was high on marijuana. Is that what you were saying?
I don't know.
That's yes. They said that he was buzzed on pot.
I don't know if any of you guys have had a toke. I know Bill Clinton's always said he didn't inhale. But if you've ever had a toke before in your life, even as a 15, 16-year-old, or however Sammy was, it kind of subdues you. You get a little mellow. You know, all
He was mellow and he was fucking around, and the cop did not have the proper training to handle. There was nobody in the bus. They had the bus surrounded. All they had to do was wait the kid out.
And you know what they should have
Streetcar,
done,
right, Frank?
Yeah, you know what they do in the States, and they besides the unfortunate people who
But why the fuck is there in this code to use deadly force all the time?
yeah, this is what my
I
point
don't
was.
get it. I don't fucking get it.
Yeah, here's my point, guys. Here's my point. In the States, again, when they're not shooting, innocent people or people who've gone awry, tasers. What about taser guns just to get his attention?
Well, they tased him after they killed him.
That's right.
After he's dead.
They tased him. Well, I know, but how about before the gun went off? And
I
again,
wasn't there. The cop wasn't there at time.
yeah.
Yeah, but they have the tasers, a taser that shoots, and there's wires that, this kid did not have a gun. He had a penknife. What was he going to do, cut the cop's cuticles off? Anyways, here's my point. Now, I don't want to get into this whole thing. I really want to commend the judicial system and the police and the district attorney, the Crown, the district attorney of the United States, on the way they handled this, and they gave justice a good shot, a B vitamin shot in the arm. They didn't try to cover this up, nor could they. Because the evidence, Big Brother's watching now. Even fucking insects have a cell phone. Everybody's got a camera.
Yeah.
And the other thing, Frank, that you have to take into account is we have all learned the lessons the hard way. When the police officer says, "Do you have a gun?" What? And you say, "Go screw yourself," you're just about dead. And when you have a knife, and he says, "Drop it," and you tell him he's a pussy, you're just about dead. So it wasn't like it wasn't premeditated.
I agree. Yes, that's a death wish. Exactly what you said. I agree. But what I'm trying to tell you is, if the bus is surrounded, there's nobody anywhere in sight but police officers all around the place, right? Why the fuck would you kill the kid? There was no imminent danger. Why would you have to use deadly force on a penknife?
Well, didn't they have trouble
7,
getting
8,
people
9,
off?
11 guns.
He wouldn't let them off. I mean, was there not some kind of a conflagration early on? But when he's by himself and he's only got a penknife, and they're certain of that.
So he was on ecstasy, cocaine, and marijuana. So he had a nice cocktail.
Yeah.
I guess that's what they found on him when they did the postmortem on him.
Why not?
They missed one. They said that Sammy Yatim was on ecstasy, cocaine, marijuana, but what killed him was lead poisoning.
Yeah, that's a deadly little cocktail. That's a bad little mix. That's like a John Belushi type thing.
Yeah, but what killed him was lead poisoning.
Yes, well, of course. I mean,
From the gun.
Why didn't they wait for the negotiator, the guy that's trained in this kind of procedure?
Yeah.
There's no danger, imminent danger. Why don't you wait for a guy who's actually trained on the psychology of talking?
Well, they were waiting for the guy, but James Forcillo took matters in his own hands. He ran out of patience. But I believe what set him off is when the kid told him to go fuck himself.
Yeah, that would annoy a policeman. Show a total lack of.
But listen, a well-trained officer, we are very blessed in this country. We got some of the best police in the world. I'm a big fan of cops, very big fan. And this guy should not have been hired.